Merton's string theory states that social structures pressure people to commit crime. A good example of the string theory is Breaking Bad. Walter White begins the show as a little more than your average Joe. He's more than 40 years old, belongs to a lower middle income class, teaches chemistry at a high school, and works a second job at a car wash. His life is boring, average, and at this point uneventful. But when Walter learns he has lung cancer, he realizes that the way his life is going, he's going to leave nothing behind for his family and die a failure of the American dream he once saw in his grasp. It is then he decides to stop conforming to society and start innovating, even if that means breaking bad in the process. Average American Walter White begins cooking meth and starts his transformation into the drug lord known as Heisenberg. What is the strain theory?
I think that it has to do with the American dream and how everybody wants to have that American dream, but they're maybe not necessarily willing to take what's being given to them by the government or whatever, so they feel like they need to do other things in order to be successful.
I have no idea.
Strain theory is social structures that pressure citizens into committing crimes.
The strain theory is when you're cooking spaghetti noodles and you put them in a colander, and as they strain, you think about theories.
I don't think I know what the strain theory is, but sometimes when I run, there's some strain in my knees. Is that it?
Just like you before this class, not a lot of people know about what the strain theory is and how it works. Here is the video to test one's attentiveness. Count how many times the players wearing white pass the ball. The correct answer is 16 passes. Did you spot the gorilla? The people who are counting the passes represent those who do not know or understand the strain theory. The people who knew about the gorilla represent those who know and understand how the strain theory works. The gorilla is the hard facts when the passes represent people who go on their day-to-day lives without knowing about it. According to Merton, there are 5 types of deviance based upon this criteria: conformity, innovation, ritualism, retreatism, and rebellion. We're going to be focusing on rebellion. Rebellion is defined as an act of violence or open resistance to an established government ruler or resisting authority, control, or convention. Rebellion ties into the Zimmerman trial from both sides. It shows that Zimmerman rebelled against his chief officer because he thought he was being a hero. His chief officer didn't want him to go near the kid or confront him for any means. Trayvon was suspended for the 3rd time for drug residue found on his backpack. He showed rebellion by arguing with the police officer and other forms of authority.
I think that they're both at fault. It's just kind of hard to tell who would be right or wrong in a situation like this because everyone has their opinions and there's probably evidence going for both sides. So, I don't know, they're probably both at fault, I guess.
That I also do not know.
I don't remember his name, but he's the police officer that shot him, the unarmed guy.
So the Zimmerman trial, honestly, I don't feel like I know enough about it to make a judgment call, but I feel like just looking suspicious isn't enough reason to cause a fuss, so.
So I don't have a lot of detail on the case, but from what I do know, from what I read, I feel like the cop did what he thought was necessary, maybe a little excessive. So there should be some investigation into it, but I feel like he just reacted and didn't really need to.
How does the string theory affect your day-to-day life? It affects how you live, whether you realize it or not. Here are some examples. You stay in school because being a dropout is socially unacceptable.
Most people consider gay marriage not normal because it doesn't follow the traditional definition of marriage.
People will strike for higher wage jobs instead of going to school to get a higher education.
When I was little, I really liked the Sorcerer Mickey Mouse from Fantasmic at Disneyland, and I wanted to be that. I was it for like Halloween like 3 years in a row. But now that I'm older, I am neither a mouse nor do I have magic powers, so I can't be a sorcerer. So I've changed my mind. I want to be a physician's assistant. It seems to be a little more practical than being a sorcerer. So yeah.
When I was little, I wanted to be an architect.
Wanted to be in the Marine Corps.
When I was a child, I wanted to be a shampoo model. Not anymore.
What do you want to be now?
Computer consultant. Lab consultant.
When I was a child, I wanted to be a pirate and sail the seven seas, pillage and plunder. I guess it's not really realistic anymore. I think it'd still be fun to sail the ocean. Probably I'm gonna do something a little more upstanding in